All right, guys, welcome to the Investor Syndicate podcast. Got a very special day today. We got my bros, Paz and Ido, all the way from Israel. Now, these guys have an incredible business model. They're literally investing virtually, sourcing deals, putting opportunities together, and building a massive multifamily portfolio all the way from Israel. And you guys will come in every, couple times a year
Yeah,
Two
or
free.
something. Yeah, so really incredible to have them in here today. So, guys, welcome. I'm excited.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for hosting us.
Absolutely, man. So, I'd like to kind of start at the beginning. You know, a lot of the people that come into the podcast, I like to hear the origin story, like where it all started. I know you guys started really planning your roots and investing here maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right? But what was the first inclination, the first thing that really got you directed into real estate?
So we both have a real estate background before we came to Colombia. I started with my family in North Carolina.
Awesome.
So it was just like a dummy investor in 2016, just brought the money.
Yeah.
And Paz have a long history of investing in Israel. And we are friends from school, from high
Yeah.
school.
That's incredible. So, at what point did you guys end up partnering up? Like, hey, I'm doing some things in the United States. How did you identify that you guys would be a good fit for putting together a strategic partnership?
Um, I was. We both sold our companies in Israel. We both had companies in Israel, and it was sold. I looked for investments in Israel. It was hard to find them after a few years that I was doing it. I talked with Ido because I thought to invest in one of the companies that he worked for. And eventually, I don't know how it went, but we ended up deciding to do it together.
Yeah.
In the US, we started to research for markets, and we chose Colombia.
It was a long research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We looked for really, really stable market. This was our first, and it took us like 3 months
Yes.
to find Colombia. We wanted like the East Coast because of the time difference with Israel
Yeah.
and the flight difference from Israel, and the place where the people are welcoming and the economy is really stable and there is no like gaps like in Florida.
Yes.
So we found Colombia and we absolutely love it.
Yeah, I love it, man. So, Columbia, South Carolina, for those of you that aren't super familiar with the market, it's known as a tertiary market, right? It's a linear market, which is favorable for cash flow, right? It's not one of the big appreciation markets like Atlanta, Florida, that you might see a big influx in price, but when you run into like a recession and the market turns, there's lot more opportunity to start losing your pants, right? So it's a safe place to invest, and for buy and hold investors, perfect place to start, right? Awesome. So let's talk about when you guys established your venture. Obviously, the business research, the analytics, looking at the numbers and figuring out what's the best fit. Obviously, that's the first thing as an investor you want to do your market research, right? What were the next steps at that point on how you guys started to structure and put it together? And how did you identify your unique strengths? Like, Paz is running acquisitions, and Ido, did you guys know when you started that it was going to be like that?
No.
Yeah. Let's talk about what that looked like how you guys you've identified the market and then you started building. What did that look like?
I think when we started, after we decided we're going to go with Columbia, South Carolina, we made a lot of like footwork. So we called to all of the real estate agent around Colombia. We thought in the beginning that like in order to source deals, you need to talk with real estate agent and they will bring us the deals. So I think we spoke with over 500, if there are 500, but we had like the list of all the brokers, and we were like not cold calling for deals, but cold calling for brokers.
Yes.
And we had scheduled a meeting for the first week we came here with I think something like 80 brokers.
Probably.
40 of them didn't show up.
Wow.
the other another 20 late were late, but we met so many people, and we thought this is how we're gonna source deal, and we start going with each one of them on a deal he had, but really soon we understand that this is not how we're gonna find great deals.
Yeah.
We're gonna find like okay deals. That's way. And then we started to look like for off-market deals, and this is where Paz like kicked into the picture. And do you want to tell a little bit about that?
I think it took us some time to understand that we need to do a wholesale for ourselves.
Yes.
Actually, the first deal that we closed was from one of the meeting on our first trip.
Really?
Ashley Flott. She did a great job.
Yeah. She's an agent too, right?
Yeah,
Agent and
she's an
wholesaler.
agent.
Yeah.
But it was an off-market deal. So it took us some time. We met with many people, wholesalers, brokers, property management companies, everybody that we can meet and get some information about the market. We did it. Eventually, after 6 months, I guess, something like that, we understood that we need to to source the deals for ourselves, and that's what we started doing. Like Facebook, messagings, emails,
Yeah.
mailing, like everything that we can do, we started doing.
That's incredible. So if we're looking at the big picture, like the breakdown, started with the agents, right?
Yes.
We had the real estate agents you guys reached out to, and you quickly realized, hey, the agents, their skill set, they're equipped to serve like the retail market more so, right? They don't have as much of a pulse on the investment space. They can't find discounted properties, right? So very quickly you're like, hey, we either need to turn to the off-market division, which build relationships with other wholesalers, or find our own deals, right? So we'll just say in-house. Looking at this and the progression of it, in the first year on the amount of deals you did, what percentage would you say broke up? Like how many came through agents? How many deals did you guys buy from other wholesalers, and how many in-house?
I would say 40%, 40%, and 20%.
Awesome.
Our first year was only 6 deals, I think.
First year, yeah.
6 deals, 30 units.
So these were
So-
6 bigger deals. These were multifamily, right?
We looked from the first place for multifamily because I come from a background of multifamily, and I did some single home, and I really didn't like it because you have the same operational structure for a single and for an 8-plex or for a 20. So
Yes.
for the cash flow reasons, it's much better to start with the multi.
And the maintenance, you got one roof to replace,
Yep.
right? It makes a lot more sense, I think, from the big picture standpoint of it. So looking at your business model now, right, 3-4 years down the line, have you seen any of these numbers flip?
Most of it is here.
Yeah. So you guys started taking some of the money or the cash flow that was going. I mean, you sold your businesses, so there's money to build the machine, right? But started to really become experts at learning how to market to motivated sellers, right? What did your marketing look like? Are you guys mostly direct mail? You mentioned Facebook.
Mostly emails and SMS. I think those are the biggest methods that we use. We do use Facebook to get to private owners. We don't do Facebook ads, but we do contact people from Colombia area,
Yeah.
just asking them if they want to sell their home.
Wow. Are they posting it, or you found them from data sources and you're like, hey, this person owns a multifamily? If it's a secret sauce, you don't have to go.
It's not a secret.
secret. Just I contact everybody that I can.
Yeah. It's almost like
as simple as that.
it's like the traditional method of door knocking, right? Before
Exactly.
social media and,
Exactly.
and phones, having a computer in your pocket, right? You knock on every door you can. Hey, I know it's a long shot, but do you want to sell your house? Right?
Exactly like that.
That's incredible, man. So just the cold outreach.
we sometimes walk into McDonald's or any other place and people can recognize Paz from the Facebook.
Are you serious?
Yeah, hey, you are a friend. And
That's
I'm
incredible.
Like, what?
That is incredible. So it's, I mean, yes, you're sourcing for business, right? But at the same time, it's building brand recognition. People start to know who you are, right? And you don't even live here, right? That's crazy. Wow. So something that stands out with this, right? And a quote that I go back to a lot, but fortune favors the bold, right? People that are willing to get outside of their comfort zone to do the hard stuff, right? That's how winning is done. That's how you take the vision. Hey, we want to own so many doors, right? Did you guys? So, I'll go back to that rabbit moment in a minute. But you identify the goal, right, and you just take massive imperfect action to put it in place.
Exactly.
So, let's talk about big picture, man. Do you guys have like a defined goal, like what a number of doors that you guys want to own within the next 3-5 years?
Our goal for now is 60 units per year to acquire for ourselves, 60 units per year. Simple.
Yeah, but until now we always buy more.
Yeah.
This is the goal, and we
Usually kill it.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So at the moment, you guys have just over 100 doors under management, right?
Right.
That's huge, right? So for somebody that's watching this video, right, that's either on the fences or just kind of dabbling, look at, this is a perfect example of what you can build, right, with a little bit of vision and then just taking the action, putting it in place. I think a lot of people, myself included, right, even like the early stages, I was afraid to get out there and put myself, on Front Street and let people know that I'm doing, but I talk about it a lot. Like, if people don't know what we do, we're missing the mark. Because I believe that some of the greatest opportunities come from relationships.
Connections.
Yeah, connections. They really do. But now that people know, hey, Paz and Ido, Brick Barn Investments, they're looking for multifamily units in the Columbia area. You guys are going to be the first person that comes to mind in a lot of these people's heads, right? Like, oh, this big deal comes to our desk. I might as well reach out to these guys because we know that they're moving and shaking, right? And then to take that a step further, it's just always, it's intrigued me, right? Like I look at the like American culture as a whole, and I feel like where things are going, our generation's getting lazy, we're getting entitled, and we don't really want to do the work, right? Most Americans. And then you look at people that will move here from different countries, and they're flourishing business owners and stuff. It's a mindset. It's a perspective, right?
If I can say something about that.
Yeah.
In Israel, you don't have the privilege to not work hard. Like here in America, the life are really easy. Like for us, we are looking at the Americans and we are envy.
Yes.
Like we jealous because in Israel, like a home will cost you $500,000. Like not fancy home, like an apartment.
Wow.
So we don't have the opportunity that you Americans have to live in our country without working really hard. So Israel makes everybody, and I'm not saying it's good, really hard workers.
Yes.
Because if not, you are not surviving. You're not making enough to like feed your family. So you must work hard and like play hard. Because if we would live in America, if we would grow up here, maybe we wouldn't with that drive, because you can buy here a great house for like 100, 150 and live your life and just like go to vacation, enjoy. So unfortunately in Israel, it's much more like struggling and tough. So we must do it.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. So that just makes me think like difficult times make strong people. Right? Like, I mean, my story, I went to prison, I was a little knucklehead, made some poor choices, but hitting rock bottom made something like awaken inside of me, right? And just an example, but it's the people that have to go through the struggles, right? That know what it's like to scrape ends meet together just to pay the bills, that in many cases, not all the time, right? But you end up realizing that the greatness lives inside of you, right? So if you just get out of your own way and stop living in your comfort zone, that anything is possible, right? You just have to believe it in your mind.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Let's talk about the operation, right? I like to really look under the hood of people's businesses, right? Because the ultimate goal is, hey, how can we all come together, create strategic partnerships, but also help other people learn, grow, and evolve in their business, right? And I think the big thing that we're seeing is like collaboration over competition. You hear that a lot, but how many people really like implement it and put it into place? And I think when you really realize that by connecting with more people at a high level, I mean, that's how winning is done. But let's look at the day-to-day operational standpoint with your unique roles in the business. Like, I know generally Paz runs acquisitions, and Ido, you're, as soon as you have a contract in place, when it comes to the operations and the management with these doors, you kind of step in. What does that look like?
First of all, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So Paz is actually sourcing the deals, bringing all the deals, and as soon as like the deals get into the door, so we start working together, like to determine the rents. I'm speaking only about multifamily because this is what we do. We determine the rents. We check a lot about the area, and then as soon as there is a lot of process until the deal close, and maybe Paz can tell more about it, but as soon as the deal closed, it's like we have a system. We're using Monday. It's an yeah. We can.
Let's do
It's
that.
a really like everything in our business, and this I have great thing to Paz is like on a system. Nothing is on there. Every process from A to Z have like a starting point and a finish, and we'll show you in a second. And it's make our life so much easier and so much more scalable.
Yes.
Because we couldn't, I couldn't do it without the system. We couldn't do it without the system. So
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, this world of automation, we can do anything virtually, right, from our phones and our laptops. And the quicker that we can remove ourselves from having to do the day-to-day responsibilities of a certain task, right, just to your point, it makes everything easier. Yeah.
So we are using Monday for most of our, like, not most, but all of our business operation. We have many tables that help us manage everything, like operation, acquisition, maintenance, rehabs. Everything that we need is here.
That's incredible.
So this is our main format for due diligence, or not due diligence, the deal from the day we find it till the day we refinance or sell it. As you can see, we have the title. We have some comments for each subject or each task that needs to be done. You can put notes, you can write something to other teammate. Actually, most of the businesses we are, and we have a virtual assistant who works us, but most of the businesses work done by us, made by us. So we have the pre-due diligence, the pre-contract, sorry. We have...
That would be all you, right? The tasks are assigned to you in this stage. Yeah. And then once you get down to under contract, that's where the warm handoff goes, right?
Exactly. This is where we are under contract. We have many tasks here. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's like we can't miss anything. Like we can, but if we are going through the checklist, probably we'll never miss anything.
Yes.
We do change it from time to time. Every deal we learn something new. So we just add it to the this board. That's how it goes. Stabilizing. Then we get to refinance, and then sell. We have everything needs to be done after we sell it, like turn off the water or transfer the bills, make sure the deed transferred to the buyer, sorry. Everything that needs to be done is here. This is just an example. Um,
And it's also like correlated, automated to a lot of other boards. So when you press here on something like the deal is under contract or you find the property management, then you have a lot of other tasks in like the maintenance or the insurance, and this is other boards, but it's open automatically.
It's incredible, man.
we have like the tenants board, which has
Everything.
everything on the tenants. I can't share it actually, not because there is confidential information of the tenants. Payments by property management company, security deposits. We have here the business side.
This also better not shared.
Yeah.
Think only
Yeah,
now the
for
beginning.
before you share it.
For sure. There's
I-
definitely proprietary stuff that some of it can't be shared. Like this, they're showing you guys the roadmap here, right? Like there's a lot of important aspects with that. So with it, I'll bridge in real quick here, but there's something so crucial about documenting the process, right? When you're building a business, vision doesn't always come out fully formed, right? And businesses don't usually come pre-built unless you buy an existing company, right? But in this case, you guys literally had to create the business from scratch. Everything from the property valuation, the due diligence, putting together the spreadsheets, your project management platform. Like this is hours upon hours upon hours of work. So much, yeah, like so much laid here, right? But looking like it's almost like the Gary V model. A lot of what we do in house, right? Like we're figuring out, we're building systems, and then in most cases we share most of what we build, right? Because it's like, hey, if we can empower more people with the tools that they need to win, natural law of leadership, it's going to pay dividends back to us, right? Because you help more people win, you got a loyal tribe, and it increases deal flow, right? So all of a sudden you just start having deals dropped in. But really cool, man, just seeing everything you guys have put in place with that. Like that goes on and on.
Yeah, it is.
There are
It's
a lot
endless.
of names of tenants and people working with us, and it's just their confidential, so we don't.
Yeah, for sure. There's some important stuff that definitely doesn't need to be shared. But yeah, that's incredible. It's incredible stuff. So one property, right? To your point, you talked about, we've had to add things and we're learning every day. Because you run into different situations. You miss one small thing in underwriting, right? Like you put the rents a little bit higher than you can actually warrant in an area, or you miss something as far as the repairs and the due diligence. It could literally change a great deal to a deal that could be a complete disaster and put you underwater, right? So it takes, especially when you're talking the bigger deals and bigger opportunities, there's a lot of moving parts that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I appreciate you guys sharing that. That's awesome.
So this is how we check the financials of the deal. This is a spreadsheet that I found somewhere online. I don't know where, but I added on it many things. Usually, most of the sales are automatically. I just put the numbers on the yellow cells, the purchase price, numbers of units, gross rents, property taxes, HOA if there is. We usually don't buy with HOA, but if there is HOA, we put it here. All the monthly payments, water, electricity, gas, sewer, trash, cable, septic tanks, loan care, yearly report for the IRS or for South Carolina, bank account fees, and registered agent that we as foreigners have to use. I think the Americans doesn't have to have one.
You don't necessarily have to. You just have like an attorney as your registered agent. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all the closing costs, attorney fees, inspections, lenders fees, everything that we know will be here. This is if we get finance. Sorry. If we get finance for the deal, we can use conventional loan, hard money, bridge loan, depends on the deal. So I put the numbers here, how many years, the terms, interest rate, which is bad, but it's going higher.
Yeah.
But that it is what it is.
Yep.
This is the numbers for the rehab. I usually put, when I first doing the financial, I usually put like gross number for everything. Afterwards, Ido is doing like a scope of work, detailed scope of work.
In the Monday, also like divided to each unit with pictures, with what needs to be done, with estimated budget. We don't do it as a deal. We do for each unit separately, and then we check ourselves. Like after we buy it, that we like meet our goals.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then this is, I'll skip on it for now. This is a quick comps for the deal. And this is the conclusion of all of this file, where it shows a lot of important info, like cost per unit, purchase cap rate, pro forma cap rate, GRM, cash ROI, total ROI, DSCR, which is important for loans or finance, NPV, IRR, many important data that we need to have. I think it's important mostly for multifamilies. For single families, not so much. Total cash in the deal, which includes the improvements, the closing costs, the purchase price, and then we can see how the deal goes for 30 years with the finance or without the finance, depends. All of the expenses, the income, the profit.
That's incredible.
Simple.
Simple, but golly, so much that goes into it, right? But that's what it takes. When you move from single family doors to the multifamily space, like it's a whole nother level of understanding, a whole nother level of process, and the way that you evaluate and underwrite deals. It just takes a lot more, for sure.
Yeah.
The operation point, man, is like, that's on my side. That's the biggest thing that I'm like, I don't have the personality to manage, to operate, to like it's knowing your strengths, right? At what point in the stage did you realize that like the operation side was something that you enjoyed doing and that you were good at?
I will tell you the truth. I don't enjoy the operational side as much as I'm enjoying to work with people. So I think an operation manager should be really good with working with people.
Yes.
Because in the end, the business is Paz and I, but we have a lot of like people that we work on a daily. We have a property management company. We have like people who do all the renovation for us. So in the end, I'm spending a lot of time on the system and the computer, but most of my day would be working with other people. So this is the biggest joy and the biggest fun in my work, because you're building connection, you're building
Yes.
relationships, and you're growing together. So if you'd ask me, I wouldn't say I'm great operational in the terms of like the computer operational,
Yes.
but I really like the people that I'm working with, or the opportunities to meet new people. And we're doing it a lot and more. As more as the business grow, we more dependent on the people that work with us. And this is just amazing to
That's incredible.
have the opportunity.
Yeah, I love it, man. My favorite thing about this business is just the spirit of collaboration, right? Like, there's very hard to find a place, an industry, where the people and the connections that you meet and that you work with are all talking about positive, life-giving stuff.
There's enough for everyone.
Yes, there's enough for everyone, right? In this world that's feeding you, like negativity, fear, doubt, and everyone's just like dwelling and bickering and gossiping, you don't find that as much inside of the real estate investing space, right? Because we've all done the groundwork. We've all invested hundreds of hours of personal development, right? Where we realize that our thoughts become things, right? And when we're putting positivity life-giving thoughts out there, well, what it's going to manifest itself back, right? It's like the crab in the bucket, right? Like it's trying to crawl out, right? And it doesn't even realize it's boiling, man. But you just, I've developed a motto like, I can't allow crabby people inside of my space, right? You got to protect that circle.
Yeah.
Got to keep this circle tight, right? People that are helping you grow, that are adding value to what you're doing, man, you protect it. Protect it with everything. That's good stuff, man. So, wow. So much value there. There's a lot to digest. You know, I'm sure the viewers are going to go through and like probably have to watch it a couple times just to grasp what's going on. One thing that stood out, so all of the past, like all the things, it's written in English, right? So anything business related, I guess because you're doing business in the United States, the numbers, the way that you're evaluating. I only speak one language, right? So I'm just like in my head, I'm trying to configure and think about the amount of time and effort that it takes, right? For you guys that English is not your first language,
No.
right?
You can hear.
But
Yes.
you've literally built a business and put together a system in a different language, right? I guess it's got to be compatible. It's almost like the metric system, right? Or the way that you measure and you build things. It had to be built in English.
The only reason we build it in English is that we can grow and we can get people to do our job instead of us.
Yes.
And if we will do it in Hebrew, it will be hard to shift from Hebrew to English. So we did it in English in first place.
That's incredible.
And so we connected our system with like the property management company, the Shandong Group, that they are managing our properties. So they have an interest to our systems, like to our maintenance boards, and they fill it up. And so everything is integrated. Our ground people, the people who do renovations, working with our system. So everything must integrate. If we'll have like repair a house in Hebrew,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
it's worth nothing here.
Yep, it wouldn't translate. Yep. Did you guys know that up front, or was there like very quickly you realized we got to build this?
That's how we did it in first place.
Yeah. I love it. That's cool stuff, man. So let's talk about the future. Where do you guys see the future holding for Paz and Ido, for Brick Barn Investments?
Hopefully, we'll meet our goals of 60 units per year. I hope we'll do more. But we'll keep being in the multifamilies area. I guess it will be here in South Carolina for the next few years at least. We do start kind of a wholesale business. Actually, we have like 4 deals right now that we are assigning,
Nice.
hopefully, to someone else. For me,
Yeah.
20 years fast forward, doing the same thing.
Same thing.
For me, 10.
Yeah. So do you guys ever see you building enough of a foundation retirement plan that you step away from real estate completely, or do you love it this much that you're going to be doing this till the day you die?
I think the foundations for our retirement are there already.
Yeah.
I hopefully, if the math is right. But we love it. I mean,
Yes.
When Paz don't bring deals, we had like half a year, like 1.5 years ago, it was slow time, so it's boring for me. It's
Yes.
boring, like just to do the same old. And when there is a new deal, when Paz brings it, it's like,
Yes. That's awesome, man. Yeah.
if not, you get bored.
Yes.
It's all the time, and you're getting larger and bigger, and you learn more stuff. So it's like school, but fun school.
Yes. Yes. There's something special about building your own vision, right? Like you're not just, to your point, you're not just going to school to fit inside of this mold that society tells you should fit in, right? But you're literally creating your life by design. Your life, your business. You choose who you work with. You choose who you let into your circle.
Exactly. And we had some really bad people in the circle because it's happened to every business.
Yes.
When we are from long distance from here. So like everybody else, we lost money on renovation, we lost money on maintenance, not a lot because we catched it on time, but people also, treated us bad
Yeah.
because you can't see everything. And then when you come after 2 months, you find out. But with God help, we now have really great people that I would put like everything in their hands, like
Yes.
the people working with us. But it's taking time to find these people that will hold with you for the long time.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Well, that's incredible stuff. You guys have any key points, any nuggets that you want to drop? I'll ask you one thing. Let's speak to the brand new investor. If you were to have to start and do this all over again, or let's say you were stepping into the real estate investing industry with zero experience and zero knowledge, what's one piece of advice that you would give that person?
You first.
It will sound funny, but I think for the first deal, you need to be bold enough and stupid enough to do it. Like,
That's incredible.
like
Be bold enough and stupid enough. Dude, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I believe there's so much power in that, right? We live in this, this world that there's a lot of fear in stepping into new things. And even just like the education system, if you get a problem wrong, you're deducted points for that, right? And you're not as encouraged to really build and invest or use the creativity that lives deep inside, right? If we're created in God's image and God created the world, He spoke it into existence, we have some of that same life-giving power ourselves, right? So instead of having to fit inside of a box, man, fortune favors the bold. We said that at the beginning of the interview. But if you're just willing to get out of your own way, wow, I love that, man. Be bold enough and stupid enough. Freaking get in there and just roll up your sleeves and do the work, right? And don't be afraid. We can't live in a spirit of fear, right? Fear is the opposite of faith.
I will tell you that in my first business, like I had a retail business, so this is what, like, I wouldn't do it again, like, even if you pay me a lot of money. But you learn so much from the process, and you're losing and you're having hard times, like you said, and then you get it because you learn from the process. So
wow. How about you, Paz? What's one
I have
piece
two,
of advice?
actually.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The first one is not mine, is Nike. Just do it. Don't think too much. Just do it. The second thing is consult with people like you. Actually, I have another one.
Yeah.
So consult with people like you. Share your thoughts, share your dreams, share everything with people that think like you or have done what you want to do. And the last thing is find a partner, because Ido and I are partners, and if I don't bring deals, I disappoint not only myself, but I disappoint him.
Yes.
So if I'm not doing my work as I need to do it, I disappoint him. So it's a third party that I need
never
to.
disappoint me.
It's bringing a level of accountability
Exactly.
where you don't only have to answer to yourself.
Exactly.
It's almost like having a workout partner,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You're holding not only yourself accountable, but hey, if I'm not doing the work to push the needle forward, then we're all not eating.
Exactly.
Wow. Those are some nuggets, man. I think those might be some of the best freaking piece of advice that we've gotten on a podcast. I kid you not. That's strong. Before we end it, I'll just, dive in, like, thoughts become things, right? So that the way that we look at things, if we dwell on it and we put in the work, it becomes our reality, right? So getting very clear with what's important. I'm like a quote junkie. I just love, like, inspirational, motivational quotes, because those little thoughts, they're like seeds that are getting planted in your head, right? And
when we started, I used to listen to you for a long time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. that's what I told you when I step into the door. I know you.
Yes,
Like,
that's incredible.
and this was amazing interest. Like Paz, like share your thoughts. Like people to do the same. So I looked at you and wanted to enter this market.
Yes.
And with your story, and this gave us a lot of inspiration.
Holy cow.
So
That's
just to let
incredible,
you know.
man. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's humbling, man. I mean, just think about the power in that, right? Like a simple YouTube video that I put up 4 years ago, right? Just out there. And at that time, I was brand new. I was recording everything on my phone, right? Going to job sites like, hey, and just,
Look at this studio right now.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. That's incredible, man. But you guys keep it up. You guys are changing lives. You guys are crushing the game. And I believe the best is yet to come.
Amen.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys.